Hello, my name is Sally and I am one of the makeup artists working with Look Fabulous Forever, which is skincare, hair care and makeup specifically designed for older faces. Today we have our lovely model Joanna with us, with me, and what we're going to do is a party makeup using some lovely kind of strong bold colours. We're going to do a smoky eye and some strong nice bold lipstick for Joanna. Joanna has the most beautiful skin with no makeup. You look amazing. So I'm going to enjoy making Joanna look really, really ready for the party and glamorous. But I hope you don't mind me saying she is 81 years old. That's all right. Absolutely beautiful, and I am looking forward to using Look Fabulous Forever to just enhance. I first used Smooth Like Silk Face Prime, a couple of pumps, which I applied with fingers to cleansed and hydrated clean face on Joanna. This is a great preparation for any foundation, to keep the foundation on and to smooth out any open pores or fine lines, and it will just keep your foundation on all night. I've used a mixture of continuous cover foundation in shade 3 and a little bit of Light Look Beauty Balm in shade 1 with a tiny squirt of the primer to create what I thought was a really quite natural base for Joanna. Her skin is gorgeous, so I didn't want anything too heavy. I wanted a little bit of dewiness. That's why I added a little bit of the Light Look Beauty Balm in. And I've used my brush number 10 to blend that in. A little bit of extra help now with our lovely concealer in shade number 3, which I've used my concealer brush 4, just patted it in, stippled it in underneath Joanna's eyes and in the inner corners of her eyes, and I put a little bit on any little pigmentation areas, sunspots, age spots, of which there were very few. I've just created a really lovely matte finish now and held it all in place with our translucent powder to set this so that the makeup will just last all night. This is the finest translucent powder. It's fantastic on older skin. And I've used my powder brush number 1 just to dust that all over. I'm now taking a small amount just on the outer corners of Joanna's eyes so that if we put eyeshadow on and get any spillage, it will just fall onto that area. Smooth Out Eye Prime, fantastic product, tiny amount, and I'm using this with my concealer brush on clean, dry, oil-free eyelids to cover up any little fine lines and fine veins that are on older eyes, and to create a really lovely, clean colour for when we're putting eyeshadow on. It also will stop any eyeshadow creasing as the night goes on. This is such a good product for older eyes. So it's just creating a really true colour for our eyeshadow. Tiny, tiny amount, and just blend it in really well to the area where you're putting eyeshadow. I also like to put a tiny little bit just underneath the lower lashes to stop any transference when I am putting eyeliner on. If you get that problem, it's a good place to put it. Just blend it in with clean fingers. Never feather lip prime. While I'm doing primers, this is a good time to remember to put on your Never Feather Lip Prime. This will stop your lipstick from migrating. So this just goes on the outer edge of your lips, not on the actual lips itself, to create a really good barrier to stop any lipstick from migrating upwards into vertical fine lines that we all get. Okay, eyeshadow. I am using our beautiful pewter grey all over Joanna's eyelids, and I'm using my eyeshadow brush number 7 just to sort of stipple and blend that in, and I'm bringing it to just above her socket line to create a nice smoky base for her eyes. Joanna doesn't normally wear much eye makeup at all, so anything I put on she's going to find it's going to be stronger than normal, but I wanted to give her a little bit of boldness for her party look without looking too heavy. So I'm creating a smoky eye look with sort of the greys and blues. And the brush makes such a difference. If you've not tried to apply eyeshadow with a brush, if you've used applicators, sponge applicators, this is a game changer. Also for blending. Make sure you put enough of the base on so that when you put your second colour on, then it's got something to adhere to. So don't be frightened at this stage to put enough on.
You can see I brought it to just above so that when she opens her eyes, you can still see that colour, so that it will just help to lift the eyes. The second colour I'm using is charcoal, and I've got a smaller brush now. I'm using our brush number 9, taking a little bit of the charcoal, and I'm creating a slightly, maybe a smoky area. I'm doing so, I call it the number 7 shape. So I'm putting it just above, again, the socket line, so that when Joanna opens her eyes, you can still see that colour. And I'm just bringing it down onto the base of the lashes. This, using a smaller brush, just allows me to put it in a more precise way. It always looks very strong when you put this sort of colour on in this area, but when you blend it, it will all work. So don't panic when you're doing this. And when you're doing it yourself, look at yourself with your eyes open so you can see where to start the product, so that you can still see it when your eyes are just open. So it often goes a little bit higher than you might think is the right place to do it. If you just put it in the crease line, you won't see it when your eyes are open. So you're creating a really lovely full socket line, a little bit higher than your natural socket line. Don't worry if it doesn't look even. You're going to blend it, and it will be, when you've got your eyeliner on and you've got your mascara on and your lips and your blusher, it will all come together. So really nice brush to do this. It's a little bit firmer than the brush number 7, so it allows you to put it in a precise way. But now I'm going back in with the first brush, the number 7 brush, to blend, 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 blend from out to in, so that you can create a really smoky, smudged look that looks like one colour has just melted into another. And I do it in quite a firm, little strokes, firm motion, out to in, so that I'm not dragging the colour downwards down the side of Joanna's face. The darker the colours you use, the more you need to blend. Blending brush is a makeup artist's weapon, secret weapon, I would say, and such a good thing to have in your toolbox. I'm now going to define Joanna's eyes with our soft eyeliner in dark navy. So this is great on older eyes, and I'm going to bringing it on the top lashes, just above the lashes, as close to the lash line as I can, starting on the last lash and winging it up very slightly at that last lash, so that I'm lifting everything. These eyeliners are super soft, so they are great on older eyes. They don't drag, they're not dry, and they're just easy to apply. Even if it's not perfect, don't worry, because you're going to smudge it with a little top tip, which I'll show you in a moment. So bringing that and sort of tapering it in so it's slightly wider on the outside, tapering it into the lashes as we get towards the middle, or 3/4 of the way in. You can do it underneath if you want to. Again, I tend to go out to in, so it's slightly wider on the outside, and then just tapering it inwards. You might not want to use it underneath, but I think for a party look, it's quite nice to define your eyes, either with the eyeliner or with an eyeshadow. I'm now going in with a really lovely colour, Midnight Blue, and my wedge brush number 8. This is fantastic. I love this brush. And I'm going to just go over my eyeliner to make it look less like a line and more like a soft, smudgy, thick area that just makes Joanna's lashes look thicker. It will stop it also from smudging because I'm applying a powder to the eyeliner, and it just makes it look a little bit softer. I'm doing this underneath as well, using my wedge brush. And you can, in fact, just use shadow. If you don't want to use the eyeliner, you can use this whole method just with the No Shimmer eye shade if you don't want to use the eyeliner. I like to use both. I'm now using a little bit more of my translucent powder with a clean wedge brush, just to put a little bit underneath that area, again to stop it. Joanna has slightly watery eyes, she said, so I wanted to stop it, anything moving as the night goes on. So a little bit of powder underneath will just stop that. Now, because it's a party, creamy eyeshadow sticks, I wanted to add a little bit of shimmer. This is one in Smoke, really lovely and soft and hydrating. And I'm just applying this in the inner third of Joanna's eyes, just directly from the pencil, If you've never used one of these, they're lovely, really, really creamy on older eyes. I'm now going back in with my lovely brush, the smaller brush, number 9, and I'm going to just blend that in so it doesn't look too obvious. But it will mean that when Joanna blinks at the party, there's that little bit of shimmer without it looking ridiculously shimmery. Lovely for a party look. Now I'm using Live Lash Mascara in Black Waterproof to just give Joanna's lashes that lovely darkness without looking spiky. The mascara that we have doesn't have nasty little filaments in, so it's really good on sparse lashes, older lashes that are maybe not as thick and lustrous as they were. And I'm wiggling it through the base of Joanna's lashes, trying to get a lot of the product right at the base, which makes them look thicker, and just bringing it up. If you want to, you can put a little bit on the lower lashes. You might not want to if you've put eyeliner on, but if you've got a few lashes on the bottom, sometimes that's quite nice. Just now dusting away my powder that I have put on to stop any spillage. We didn't actually get any spillage, but it's always good just to dust that away, and just adding a little bit more before we finish the eyes. I'm now going to use my Magic Pen Instant Bright Highlight. I love this product. This will also give that little bit of dewiness. It's a highlighter, so put it on areas that you want to be brought forward underneath your brows. And it's a little clicky pen, so there's only one colour. I'm now using my concealer brush number 4 just to blend that in, so you can see that that's already made Joanna's brows sort of stand out. I'm putting a little bit in frown lines, down the middle of the nose, and just a little bit onto the highest parts of Joanna's beautiful cheekbones, so that again, when she turns in the light, there's that little bit of dewiness without it being too shiny. I'm now using Bring Back Brow Shape and my spoolie brush number 6. Joanna has beautiful dark brows anyway, so I'm using the shade that is brown, which is one of our darker shades. This is an eyebrow paint, so I'm just grooming Joanna's brows before just filling in any small gaps. This is really, really good to use a spoolie brush just to brush them into shape. This is a waterproof paint, and you can just literally use feathery strokes just to fill in any little gaps. And even if you've got no eyebrows whatsoever, you can paint in individual hairs. So it's such a clever product. It takes a little bit of practice, but once you've got it, it's just so easy to use, and it looks really, really natural. So little feathery strokes. Just shake it before you use it. It's got a little ball bearing in, so it's just shaken up, and just, as you can see, I'm just doing feathery strokes just to fill in any little gaps. I'm going back in now with my spoolie brush number 6 just to soften the effect. Really important. It makes a massive difference if you've used Bring Back Brow Shape, just to go back in with the spoolie brush and soften it, and then it will just last all day till you take it off with your eye makeup remover. I'm now also going in with a little bit more. I just wanted to add a tiny, tiny bit more midnight blue over the, just because I wanted to, it's always good after you've done your brows and after you've done your mascara, just to see if you need a tiny, tiny bit more product. So I'm adding in a little bit more just on that outer edge, just to give it that little bit more oomph. Now we need a little bit of colour on Joanna's face. I'm using our beautiful blusher in Petal Pink. It's a cream blusher that turns into a silky powder, and it's called Real Radiance Blush. I'm putting it on with my finger and I'm sweeping it upwards in a sort of teardrop shape. Joanna has got good colour already from her trips to Portugal, so I'm using a slightly stronger colour. That's why I'm using Petal Pink. And just bringing it up. It's a cooler shade, which will just go beautifully with the lipstick colour that I'm going to use. And I'm blending it in with my blusher brush number 2, just to make sure she looks really healthy, as though she's been for a lovely walk in the woods. But I didn't want to put too much on. You can always put more on when you've applied the lipstick. Now I'm going to use our defining lip liner in Raspberry, which is one of our cooler colours. So I'm starting at the Cupid's bow, I've already put the Never Feather lip prime on earlier and let that dry. Now I'm just going to go all the way round Joanna's beautiful lips to create a really nice sharp finish, so that it's easier to apply the lipstick as well. And it means that if some lipstick comes off, there will be colour left. I'm now going to apply our gorgeous lipstick in Cherry Red. And I'm using my lip brush number 5 to get a really professional look. This is a lovely lipstick that's got jojoba oil in, so it's lovely and hydrating. It's called Lustrous Lipstick. And Cherry Red is a lovely colour for parties. It's a slightly cooler red, and it will go nicely with the eye colours and the clothing that Joanna's going to wear. And if you can use a lip brush, it just means that you can put it on in a slightly more precise way rather than going directly in with the bullet. But this will hopefully balance up the eyes and make Joanna feel ready for the party. So I'm putting one layer on. What you can do is get a split tissue, blot it, and put a little bit of powder through that split single layer tissue, and then put a second layer on. And then I'm going in with gorgeous gloss lip shine in clear. Really nice for a party to have a little bit of extra shine. So I'm putting this on just in the sort of center area, which means, again, it will make Joanna's lips look even more plump because you're putting a little bit of sheen in the center, and it creates sort of shading, and like we put a little bit of light on the eyes, it's creating a lovely, glossy, glamorous look to Cherry Red. So I hope you've enjoyed that, and we look forward to seeing you again soon.